Hey everyone, and welcome to today's explainer. We are jumping right into an absolutely fundamental part of your Spanish journey today, which is figuring out how to describe people and, more importantly, where they're from. Because think about it, what's the very first thing you do when you meet someone new? You ask about their roots, right? In Spanish, we ask, ¿de dónde eres? Literally, where are you from? So let's dive right in and get you talking. Here is our quick roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Describing where we are from. 2. Spanish nationality rules. 3. A classic song, Little Star. 4. Practice with ser versus estar. And 5. Our culture spotlight, La Quinceañera. All right, section 1, describing where we are from. To do this, we need to add a key phrase to our vocabulary tool belt. In Spanish, we say más palabras para las personas, which just translates to more words for people. Now, there is one word in particular that literally always trips up beginners, and that word is la gente, which means people. Now, you might be wondering, why is that confusing? Well, in English, people is a plural word, right? You say people are. But in Spanish, la gente is strictly singular. It acts exactly like the English word everyone. So if you want to say people are good, you don't use the plural son. You use the singular es. La gente es buena. Make sure you keep that little trick tucked away in your memory because it's a game changer. Moving right along to section 2, Spanish nationality rules. Okay, so whenever you use an adjective to describe someone's nationality in Spanish, it has to match the gender and the number of that specific person. And honestly, the formula is super simple. For masculine endings, the adjective usually ends in an O or a consonant. For feminine endings, you just swap that O out for an A, or you add an A directly to that ending consonant. It's all about creating harmony in the sentence. Let's actually see this rule in action. If you want to say, my father is Colombian, you say, mi padre es colombiano. See that? Because padre is masculine, we use that O ending. But if we switch to talking about your mother, the ending has to shift to match. It becomes mi madre es colombiana. If you're talking about both of your grandparents together, it becomes plural. Mis abuelos son mexicanos. And here's a fun little bonus. Some nationalities, like estadounidense for American, end in an E. These forms are super convenient because they stay the exact same whether you're talking about a man or a woman. Section 3, Song Time, featuring Little Star. Honestly, songs are incredible memory tools. They lock in grammar rules so effortlessly. There's a classic melody which is actually identical to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star that has been sung all across Latin America for generations. Listen to these opening lyrics. Estrellita, ¿dónde estás? Me pregunto, ¿quién serás? In English, that means, little star, where are you? I wonder who you are. And then the verse finishes up with, en el cielo o en el mar, un diamante de verdad, which translates to, in the sky or in the sea, a true diamond. Just notice the really beautiful imagery here. We have cielo for sky, mar for sea, and diamante for diamond. Now, let's put this into practice with section 4 practice, ser versus estar. We're going to use that exact song to crack a pretty crucial grammar rule between the two Spanish verbs that both mean to be. So think back to the song's title for a second. It asks, Estrellita, ¿dónde estás? The word estás comes from the verb estar. Now, based on what we know about ser versus estar, why in the world does this song use estar? Well, the song is asking, where are you, right? It's asking about the star's physical location. And our absolute golden rule for location in Spanish is that we always use the verb estar. Finally, we've made it to section 5, culture la quinceañera. You really can't fully grasp a language without understanding the people who speak it. And one of the absolute most deeply rooted celebrations in Latin American culture is the quinceañera. This incredible event is all about turning 15. The word itself is actually a blend of quince, which means 15, and años, which means years, quince años. It represents this really profound, symbolic passage from childhood into young womanhood. The birthday girl, who is known as la quinceañera, usually wears a stunning formal gown, and a huge part of the tradition is dancing a waltz with her father or a special escort who is called a chambelán. And what's amazing is that this tradition spans completely across borders. It is celebrated with immense pride in places like Mexico, Colombia, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic. But here's the really cool part. While the Spanish language absolutely connects all these regions, the exact customs, the food, and the dances vary beautifully from country to country, and honestly, even from family to family. We have covered some fantastic ground today, from figuring out how to describe people with la gente to exploring the rich cultural milestone of the quinceañera. But now that you have the literal tools to describe exactly where someone is from, I want you to think about your own answer. Take a second. Use the vocabulary we built today and ask yourself, ¿de dónde eres tú? Where are you from? I'm so thrilled you joined me for this explainer, and I can't wait to see you next time as we uncover even more.